happy to be back home on home ice after that long 5-game road trip. So here we go. We're underway in St. Paul, Minnesota in their purple sweaters.
Not well, and have really found a way to turn it around, due in part to the health of Spooner and Nurse.
Well, we've got a crash into the net, and also she had a 2-goal game at Montreal on February the 18th. Minnesota certainly has had its share of injuries this year. Don't want to lose her. That one right on. Maddie Rooney equal to the task.
Montreal does not have a lot of first period goals. They've gone 16 first periods this season without a goal. That's not to say they don't score the first goal a lot. They score the first goal about as often as they allow it, but it doesn't always wanting to try to find a way to get on the board first.
Off the draw, Stacy, a quick fire to the net. And it's turned away by Rooney.
Nice quick shot off the face-off there. Not a lot of shots on net through the first 6 minutes of this period. Nice quick look there.
Boy, that was a snappy wrister. Now look out for Poulin. Marie-Philippe Poulin makes it 1-0 Victoire. And you talk about quick shots. Marie-Philippe Poulin with her 16th of the year, tops in the league.
Look at how she separates on this play. Great play along the wall to move the puck up the ice. And then all of a sudden she's able to blow past Steckline. And that's the matchup that Coach Klee wants. He wants Steckline on Poulin and said, any chance we get, she's going to be out there up against her. Poulin gets the last laugh on that play. Able to net that one home from the bottom of the circle.
Nobody closes down time and space better than Lee Steckline, but Poulin is on top of her game right now.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of that battle here tonight.
And Dalton brought it in. That goes through the blue paint in front of Rooney again. And now Ambrose stapling Budarak up against the wall in the corner. Comes to the line, not out. Minnesota gets another shot on, but just their second of the game. In familiar territory, it was going to be hard to come by, but once you get out there and have to deal with it, you realize just how challenging that is. Kava got a shot on, and Chuli was equal to the task. Now a turnover. Minnesota hoping to take advantage of it. One-timer down low, Shepers. And Chuli with a point-blank save. To a good start. Under 8 minutes to go in the first, leading 1-0. Here's Curl stepping in over the line. In the circle, trying to play a pass down low for Shisha, but good to see her back on the ice. Steckline, her drive knocked down. And Barnes will lift it back to the Minnesota line. On the reach there of Petrie. Petrie still managed to get it on. Rebound comes back out. Minnesota will try again. Here's Steckline, high wrist shot. Goes off the glass.
Maintain some pressure here. Minnesota needs to try to get something going late in this period if they want to tie it up before we hit our first break.
Good outlet pass for Thompson. Little room there.
Would have climbed into that final spot in the playoffs if they would have won that game last night, pending what happens here today. But big loss for Ottawa, and huge for Minnesota that they didn't come out on the winning side of that one. But Minnesota needs to take care of their own business, so they need to find a way to get back into this one and to clean things up here tonight against Montreal.
Turned over right out in front of Rooney, and she's able to scoop it up as Stacy was lurking. Let's go to those highlights from last night. And, you know, it looked like Ottawa was going to cruise, had a 3-goal lead going into the last period. But then New York turned it on. 6 unanswered, outshot the charge 18-0 in that final frame.
Well, that just goes to show New York is a team who believes they can make it into the playoffs, who believes.
Oh, there's another rebound for Stacy. And Laura jams it in to make it 2-0.
Well, it was a chaotic play on the side of the net, and less than a minute into this period has capitalized. Minnesota wins this faceoff, but then turns it over as they're trying to regroup off the faceoff. And right out front, great play there by O'Neill to dig that puck loose, and Rooney's trying to tie up that post, and then all of a sudden it pops out on the far side, and Steckline kind of bit the dust there on the side of the net. It just wasn't able to square up next to State.
Now Zumwinkle scored Minnesota's only goal against New York in Detroit in the takeover game. That was her first in 13 games, but she was coming off missing 8 games in January and February. Down low, there is panic. Holy cow, what timing. We just talked about her. Her ears were itching, and she gets her first one in a long time to cut Montreal's lead in half.
Finally does. A battle along the wall. Zumwinkle from down low feeds it out front, and Panic didn't really have a clean look. I mean, it's a backhander, doesn't really get everything on it, just pushes it towards the net, and that's all it took. Able to beat it past the pad of Elaine Chuli, and Minnesota able to cut this lead in half.
Has the lead on Minnesota. Heisey came in. Minnesota was offside, but Montreal intercepts anyway. Here's Gardner again, top of the circle, moving in. Good save there by Rooney. She couldn't corral the rebound.
We'll see if that changes at all throughout the final few games of the season.
Heisey on a backhand, got a shot on, save, and it's cleared to the far wing corner. Another face-off win for Kelly Panic. Long drive, Zumwinkle had it blocked. Defender stepped in the way. Kelly Panic recovers it for Minnesota. Thompson gets it on. Chuli the save and gets her catching mitt down quickly.
Able to catch that one. Thompson's got a great shot.
Victoire keeping the pressure on. And now Minnesota gains control. Heisey has Coyne Schofield, a drive from the mid slot. New York only 5 points out of a playoff spot after that comeback win last night. An amazing win against Ottawa.
Well, both the goals in this period came early on in the period. It's mellowed out a little bit since then.
Here's O'Neill with some room. O'Neill a shot, rebound, they score!
Contact. We'll take another look at this play. The officials are discussing right now. So the puck comes in, and oh yeah, this should be waved off. She's knocked into by Kristen O'Neill. And O'Neill is not pushed into her. I mean, that to me is obvious goaltender interference. We'll see what the officials decide, Clay. It was called a goal on the ice. I mean, Shishiva's kind of there as well.
Call on the ice is no goal.
Again, Shishiva and Bookbinder are the two Frost players that are kind of in that vicinity, but you can see O'Neill.
Zumwinkle for Jakes. Another wrister. Saved by Chuli. Petrie there for the rebound. Has to take it in behind. In the Walter Cup playoffs. They'll do that with a win of any kind tonight. Off the draw, controlled by Poulin for the Victoire. Last matchup was the 2-1 shootout win March the 4th. Through a screen. There is Dubois again. Knocked to the Minnesota line. Now here comes Grant Mentis through the defense, but it's picked up nicely on the back check by Minnesota. Leading the way there, Sophie Jakes. Goes rink wide to Heisey. Drops it back for Coyne. Coyne Schofield. Loose in the corner. Panic. Swings it in behind her own net. Now turned over out in front. A drive. Rooney the save. And the rebound cleared by Minnesota to the line and out.
Wonky, bouncy puck out front. So another look at this chance by Kayla Barnes. Looking for her third goal of the season.
Kayla Barnes. Minnesota trying to get it up and out of the zone, but they can't. Boreen holds it in and swings it around to the far wing side. Tabin back for Grant Mentis, a drive, and Rooney saw it through the traffic.
Here in the third period, they know it's on the horizon if they get a win here today. Grant Mentis, another look at this chance from the point, and Rooney able to see that one cleanly. Claire Dalton was in her lap trying to create a screen.
Another shot tipped out in front. That goes wide of the cage. Petrie got a blade on it. She's got it back high in the slot. Got it down low to Curl. And she takes a couple of whacks at it. But Chuli sees it. Good vision. Didn't get much on it. It was a little off target. Now Willoughby. Caitlin Willoughby a drive. Sticked away by Rooney. Here comes Heisey. Drops it back for Kava. He's in her skates. Tried to kick it to her stick. Held in by Bookbinder at the line. Now here's some room for Lee Steckline. A drive tipped right on. What a save by Chuli. Sprawling across the crease to seal that off. For the greatest goaltender in the world right now. And doing a fine job. Denied her 10th marker of the season. Puck locked up in the corner. Montreal gets it free. Shot, save, rebound. They score. Boy, this Montreal team just relentless. And Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Her fourth goal this season against this Minnesota Frost team. Stacy starts the chaos by just feeding that one towards the net. And Rooney, trying to make the save here, ends up on her stomach. And Marie-Philippe Poulin bangs that one home, top shelf. Whole lot of net to look at with Rooney laying on the ice, and a player like that is not going to miss that shot.
We'll host Toronto on Sunday, their last game until April the 26th. And there is something psychological too, Alexis. If you are outside of the playoffs when you go on that long 3-week break, that's going to be a mental hurdle, I would think, for whichever two teams that is. And if it happens to be Minnesota falling out of the playoff picture that they're currently in, that's going to be tough to overcome with those final 3 games more than 3 weeks away.
Yeah, it's a different thought process.
And that's going to come all the way back to the Minnesota end. Oh, good feed out in front. Grant Mentis had her stick lifted up, though, as she was attacking. And it rolls in on Rooney. Wilgren got it out. Back to the Minnesota line. Now Thompson steps in. Waits for help. Fires a shot. Kicked out of there by Julie. Another chance for Minnesota. Save. Rebound. And trying to score out in front again is McQuigg. Trying to keep that tear out in front of the net alive. But she's denied. And now we're going to get a penalty. And this is going to go against Minnesota. Another interference call, second tonight. Off the face-off, Barnes. Ambrose back for Barnes. Down to the end line for Stacy. Barnes plays a pass for Ambrose. Now to the dot. One-timer, they score. Wow, what a game for Laura Stacy. Her second goal, her 4th point.
The Stars continue to shine for this Montreal Victoire team. They set it up, and then from the circle, Stacy left all alone there as Minnesota's just trying to defend on the penalty kill here. And she fires that one home past Rooney. And the bad news for Minnesota, as if the goal wasn't already bad news enough, it came on the 5-on-3, so they still have to kill the rest of this other penalty.
A 4-point night for Laura. And she is going to lead Montreal to a victory on the road tonight. Minnesota back home for the first time in 36 days, but even the home cooking.